a nice fancy presentation for them.
Fancy is a strong word.
Oh, I think some of the stuff in it is pretty fancy. I think there's some pretty cool things. But yeah, like essentially we've listened to you guys, we've observed you guys grinding at the top of Prestige, and it's a bit silly, really. But what is upcoming is absolutely awesome. So I just say that we should just get into it, to be honest.
Yeah. So
we should kick off our fancy presentation.
So this section is usually Spotlight, but I've incorrectly labelled the presentation Chronicled. So we're going to go into that. So we're skipping one here. Good start. So yeah, just to give you, for those of you that weren't watching last week, and to give you an insight into why we're talking about this at the moment. So this section is ranking up ranked, and basically we're gotta love the name. It's a terrible name for that. Sorry, last minute naming conventions. Basically, for you, those of you that weren't here last week listening to us talk about rank mode, and those that didn't get a chance to hear the questions, we are taking a really kind of detailed deep dive into the rank mode of the game. So rank mode should be the core of any competitive game. That CCGs aside, any kind of shooter, any type of game, the ranking system and the rank mode should be the core experience.
Absolutely,
it's what you should be coming back to. It's what you should be engaging with. And what we've seen over the last kind of few weeks since we launched, and kind of in the closed beta itself as well, we weren't really happy with the state of the ranked play. We weren't happy with the way the promotion system worked. We weren't happy with the way that the rewards work, and the presentation of the entire mode just wasn't up to snuff. I think the best way to kind of explain it is that it's unfinished. We never got to do some of the stuff we want to do.
And I mean, I think we almost got lulled into a false sense of security in the closed beta.
Yeah.
Because when there was such a small player group, we all knew each other.
Yeah.
And so, you could kind of like monitor how people were doing individually, and there was a lot of rivalry. But nowadays, as the game is growing so healthily, like, the rank system is essentially stopping making sense.
Exactly, yeah. And for a lot of new players coming into it, they're just not understanding how things work or why they should continue playing. And I think that question of why I should continue playing in rank mode is really, really important. So I think the best way to get started is taking a look at the current state of ranked and our opinions about how that's playing. So this is current rank mode. I've kind of summed it up with one sentence. So it's an unfinished competitive scene that doesn't really clearly incentivize play or provide a compelling game experience or engaging end game. So that's basically what our feelings are, and I think most of you that have given us feedback have suggested as well as a sentence about the current state of ranked play. So what I've done here is broken it down into kind of three areas in which we think the game should be improved, the rank mode should be improved. So the first one is the kind of structure of the mode, and that's how you move through seasons and way that is tiered, and how we have different leagues. I think one of the things that is a positive on this list of the current ranked system is the leagues are interesting. Moving up through leagues is a nice way to display where you are in your experience of Chronicle and how you're playing, and moving up feels like a good thing. But the way that you actually move up and the way that that progression curve happens isn't very exciting. The top 10, a lot of people rocket up there pretty quickly, and then they stagnate. They're waiting for a week or two for the promotion to happen. And that timed promotion structure that we have currently doesn't kind of really work in the best way. We thought it was going to be exciting. Wait for this moment to happen, and everyone move up and race again, and it doesn't really happen.
Yeah, instead it's actually, I'm bronze 1 with 400,000 prestige.
Exactly.
Can I please be silver?
Can I be gold now? Can I be silver? So that hasn't really worked for us in the way that we wanted, and also there's no social visibility either. So you might have like I have, or Merchant has, like hundreds of friends in your friends list, and you've got no idea where they might be. You might have a challenge against someone, you don't know what rank they are, you don't know what quality they are if you just met them online, and that's not great. That's not how a ranking system should work.
Absolutely.
And we want to have social interaction.
I mean, at the end of the day, when you're playing a game that is, the lifeblood of this game is competitive multiplayer.
Exactly.
Being essentially unable to compare to your peers is, it's wrong, essentially.
It's pretty poor.
And I mean, I think anybody looking at this slide can see that we are keeping up our traditional trademark candid nature in basically reflecting on ourselves.
Exactly, yeah. The second one is incentives. So the most important thing about playing any game is a reason to play. And obviously Chronicle's awesome to play and it's really fun, But at the end of the day, you want to be rewarded for your time spent in game. And at the moment, getting those wins, unlocking your daily quests, unlocking your skills, you can do those in any mode. And profitability in something like dungeoneering is pretty high at the moment. And when you compare that to ranked, it's not quite as profitable. So we want to make sure that playing in ranked is as profitable as any other mode. And the incentives that are on offer are very clear and precise and very rewarding, because at the moment the rewards that you get at the end just don't really feel that great. And there's no persistence in it either. So if I get myself to the top of silver, the top of gold, or beyond, I can't show you that a season later. I can't show you that in reflecting my character. So there's no persistence there in the achievements that you've made. And that's reflected in the lack of flair as well. So you can't really show off any of that, which is a real shame. And then finally is the end game. So many of you guys on the chat here will probably be the top guys, you know, battling out in goals.
Well, Wolf is right there.
Wolf's there, I can see, and Freeb. You guys smashing it out at the top, that's really cool for a little bit, but it doesn't have any dynamism. It's kind of lacks a little bit of an engagement. It's relatively limited in its structure and its ability to entertain, and we want to make that much more interesting. So the end game's kind of our third part of the puzzle we need to improve upon. So that's where we feel the state of play is, and I think, you know, for you guys that have been giving us feedback and telling us where we're at, I think it's all true. I think, you know, if we hope that you guys agree with this kind of sentiment. If it's better than that, that's awesome. But we want to do better, and we're committed to doing better.
Yeah.
So to give you a kind of indication of where we're going, let's take a look at what I'd set out as where we need to go. So this is what we're aiming to do with the new rank mode. So it's the reason you come back to play Chronicle every day. It's a mode with clear goals, incentives, and they tug on the social strings that connect you together and give you the power to succeed. So where we were before, where you couldn't choose when you rank up, you couldn't share your social structure, your ranking with other players, and you weren't getting rewarded, we're going to change all of those things. So with the structure, we like the leagues, so we're going to keep them. It's a differentiator, it's different from other games, and we really like how they're structured and how they help separate you from other players. But instead of waiting for 2 weeks to get promoted, you're going to be able to promote yourself. Yeah. You're going to be able to take yourself from one league to another in the time that you want to do it. We'll talk about how that happens a little bit later on, but that's something you'll be able to do. You'll be able to compare with each other socially, so you'll be able to say, I'm rank X, you're rank Y, and be able to see that in a table. Whether that's going to be on our leaderboards, in a friends leaderboard, or just shown in your friends list, that'll be something you'll be able to compare. And all of that will be very clearly labelled out when you go into rank mode and see it all there for you, so you'll be able to understand how you do these things.
Yeah, and I think this is addressing some like really key concerns, because I get I can't even quantify the amount of new players that I've got like tweet me like, I'm bronze 1, yes. When do I go into silver? Yeah. And I'm like, 13 days time. Yeah. And they're like, oh,
yay, I get to wait.
Yeah.
You always see the top of the ladder just matching up against each other as well.
Like. Yeah, absolutely. And so I just think this one of the most things that I'm most excited for on this slide, because there are better things coming, is the self-promotion. I just think that's absolutely incredible.
I totally respect everyone in the chat, by the way, saying they've got loads of buzzwords on here. That's on purpose, because I'm actually going to show you what we're doing later on. So this isn't the final bit of this. We've got lots of cool images
Don't worry about the buzzwords. There's pictures later.
There's pictures and shiny things. So incentives. So the reason to come and play, they're going to be big, bold, rewarding, omnipresent, which is a nice word. They're always going to be visible.
5 buzzwords in a row. That's incredible.
Awesome buzzwords here. They're always going to be visible. So you'll always see your rewards and what you're going to be getting and why you should play. And they're going to be persistent as well. So those rewards that you get are going to stick with you for your entire life in Chronicle. So you're going to be able to, if I get to the uppermost ranks, if I get to the top of the game, I'm going to have a way of reflecting that, whether that is some cool card backs or whether that's a cool title. That's going to be something that we're going to give to you, and you're going to be able to show that off.
Exactly the same as Pioneer. If you smash the rank ladder, you deserve to show it off. So we're going to give you shiny things.
Shiny things.
Shiny things.
And all those rewards are going to scale much better. We know that the rewards, when you get up to the higher levels at the end of a rank bracket, don't feel quite rewarding or don't feel like they've scaled appropriately. We're going to fix that and make sure that's really
rewarding. We have some pretty cool scaling rewards to show.
Absolutely.
Soon. So do wait for those. They're amazing.
And then at the end of the game as well, so for you guys that get up to gold, gold's not enough for us. So what we're going to be doing with the end game experience is that gold is no longer going to be the final tier. So we're going to be creating a standalone league for you guys that get to the top of your game. So it's going to be dynamic, and it's going to be the ultimate test for all of you coming into the top of the Chronicle experience. And that's going to be uniquely identified as what we're labeling at the moment is the Diamond League.
Yes.
So for those of you that push through Bronze, push through Silver, and push through Gold, you're going to get into the Diamond League. And the Diamond League is going to have a completely different ranking system and use more traditional, I'll say it like an ELO system. So basically all the way through your ranks, the performance, that's all going to be marked, that's all going to be stored. And once you get to this level, you're going to be given a separate ranking and ballot out. All of that's going to degrade as well. And I think this is one of the most important things, is that once you get into the Diamond League, you're going to have to perform in the Diamond League.
You can't sit there on rank 1 with your 170 prestige points.
Exactly. Getting to 150, then saying goodnight is not the way it's going to work. It's going to be a persistent, engaging experience that you're going to keep coming back to.
So yeah, really, just to clarify for anybody who may be wondering what we're meaning, it is going to be familiar to those similar with like Grandmaster and Challenger tier systems.
Yeah.
So essentially, yeah, like we esports now. We're having the esports tier right at the top. That's what we're going to call it.
Fantastic. So, well, let's go into some detail on some of this stuff. So let's first look at some of the incentives. So, reward chests. So now that you have control over moving between tiers, we're going to give you rewards for doing so. So when you rank up a league, when you move from Bronze to Silver, we're going to give you a brand new chest. And these chests, for those guys that played in the closed beta, are going to be more reminiscent of the chests that you played back then. So you're going to get coins from it, you're going to get crafting materials, you're going to get dungeoneering runs, you're going to get packs, and maybe even some cards as well. So much more cooler stuff that drops based on the value of that chest.
How cool is giving dungeoneering runs as well?
That's going to be pretty awesome.
For our free-to-play players or like low-budget players, that is like, that's fantastic.
So a huge coin value there as well. Huge. So you're going to be able to get those, and they'll be based on your performance. So you might be able to get every single one of those chests in one day if you absolutely smash the ranks, but probably not. But they're going to be up to you to try and achieve. And then at the end of a season, based on your rank, your final position within the season, you're going to get an additional chest. So that chest is going to give you similar drops, but also give you some customization as well. So if I get up into Gold, if I get into Silver, I'm going to get titles, I'm going to get emblems that reflect my performance as well, which is pretty awesome. But this isn't all.
This is the boring
This
rewards.
is just the start.
This is the normal rewards.
I mentioned before persistence. Now, we talked about some titles and some emblems in there, but one of the things we wanted to do slightly differently, so there are card backs and things and other rewards in other games, but we wanted to do it a little bit differently. So next, we'll show you what our card backs are going to be like.
Oh, man.
So these are modular card backs. So as you progress through the tiers, your card back's going to get better and better. So you can play in the rank mode and just get to rank 40 and get your card back for this ranked season, which for this concept that we're looking at here is our spring.
Yeah.
So this is regrowth, this is a new form of reward, this is a new way of playing Chronicle. So we wanted to do some rebirth here, we're going to do some growth, so that's influenced the design of these card backs.
Old school Chronicle.
Oh yeah. And so what we're going to be doing here, you can see the labels that I've got on here. So this is still all concept, but as you move up through the ranks, your card back's going to get better. So you're going to see that at the end of each game that you, at the end of each league that you complete. So you're going to see the gems get added, the growth of the card back, and that's going to stick with you. So when you finish, if you get to Diamond League, if you get to Gold, that's the card back that you get. So I might play against someone and they got to Bronze or they got to Silver, but my one's Gold and it's always Gold.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's worth pointing out as well, like, not only is there one for getting into the Diamond, you know, the true, like, ELO Masters League, there is one for being in the top 10.
Yeah.
Like,
boom!
And this, this isn't going to be ever being in the top 10. This is top 10 and finishing there.
Yeah, finishing in the top 10 in that season in the Diamond League.
I mean, that's 10 players every season will get that. I mean, it doesn't get much more prestigious than that.
Right,
it's going to be
absolutely,
massive. Yeah. So we're really looking forward to that. I know there's a couple of questions on the dates and stuff. We'll talk about that a little bit at the end. So I've got basically, if you've got any questions, keep feeding them into the chat. We've got a little FAQ on this section at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I've very much so left space in the timings for answering all your guys' questions on this. So do post them in the chat. We have Mod Kalaya picking them out, and we will answer them all.
And how awesome, though, is it, going back to these again, though every season there's going to be a new card back?
Every
Yeah.
season.
So, you know,
I mean, we're all getting tired of modular card packs. Like, that card back is also sick. That looks
that is
fantastic.
brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
Super
Yeah, I
excited.
really like the seasonal card back. That looks awesome.
Yeah, so really excited about that. So any questions that you do have, pop them into the chat and we'll answer them at the end of this segment. And we've obviously got our usual Q&A at the end of the entire thing. So we'll still do normal questions as well, so don't worry about that. So now we've seen kind of some of the rewards. What about how this is presented in game? So I mentioned that you're going to get to see all of this stuff as you're playing the game and always reminded of it. So what we'll see next is the matchmaking screen. So once we go into ranked, we're going to show you the mode you're going into. Forget, this is all concept still, so forgive any kind of roughness on these things. But once you go into matchmaking, you'll be told the mode you're going into, and also for seasons, it'll tell you how long the season is going to be as well. And then either side, you'll see your season reward and how it's growing, and then your league reward. You'll be able to hover over these things, and it will tell you kind of drop rates of different stuff within them, and also how you can improve them. There's a little hint that's going to be at the bottom as well to tell you how to play and engage with ranked mode as well. So it's always telling you how the game's going to be playing, what you need to do, and where your goals are going to be lying. So it's much more clear as to what you need to do within ranked mode. So we hope that's going to be hopefully really a much better experience. Definitely photoshopped. It's photoshopped. There's my Photoshop skills for you there.
It goes back to what you were saying last week, though, doesn't it? About one of our key issues for the next few weeks is to actually make things a lot clearer, and that not just in ranks,
Yeah.
but in the whole game itself. And
Yeah, I think how
little
like
things like this
information
make
is
so much
presented.
difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Mod PRZ in the chat.
That is actually my rank. That's totally my rank.
That's why you included
I am
that.
13
I'm under no
silver.
illusions.
I'm happy with my 13
You've
silver.
invented this entire ranking
I'm
change
very-
just to show off the fact you're silver now.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
It's why it's delayed.
So one of the things we're doing in the short term as well is completely revamping the end of the games. So we know at the moment there's a few bugs. Visually, it doesn't look quite as good as some of the other areas of the game. So we're revamping that completely. And you're going to get a little sneak peek of that now, which is the end flow of the game. So when we complete a
Cheers
game...
for that, Jim.
I couldn't help myself. This is one of the things that Mod Stew's been working on. It's not Mod Stew, is it?
I don't even know.
I don't-
Stu's been working on
I
it.
can't remember what Stew's mod name is.
No, there's
No,
not.
it's
No,
not.
Mod
Someone
Stu's
else.
somebody else.
Yeah.
You are to Stew, who's awesome, has been working on a lot
And
of
a
this
mod.
stuff. And a mod. Has been working on this. So we're now coming out of the book. We're going to keep you in the level, and we're going for this kind of modular approach to the end sequence. So each one of these things is just going to focus on one particular area. So this one is obviously ranked, because we're talking about ranked. But as you can see, we're bringing the rewards in there. We're making it much clearer what's happening. We're telling you what Rising Star does and giving you a hint as to why you should continue playing in ranked. As you notice from this, Rising Star is going to still be there, but we're going to change the way it works a little bit as well. So that's maybe going to scale based on your particular league. So if you're in bronze, it might only take a couple to get Rising Star, but if you're in gold, it might take up to 4 wins to get Rising Star. So changing the way that that works perhaps as well. So these are kind of things that if you've got ideas for, post them on the forums. When I add this as a blog post, you'll be able to comment on that and add ideas to that as well. So you can see here, every time you win a match, every time you lose a match, you'll see what you're aiming for, what you're fighting for within ranked, and where you need to be headed. So you see your season reward, you'll see your league reward, you're able to hover over those and it'll tell you information about those particular rewards as well. And then, so the interesting thing is, well, how do I rank up then? So you said that you're going to give us the control. How are we going to do that? Well, so we're putting you into this thing we're going to call playoffs for now. We're probably going to change the name of it. But you'll see on the next slide that we're now in a playoff. So I've just been ranked 2 in silver. I've now won a game, and I'm now put into the playoff. So the playoff is a sequence of wins that takes you to the next rank, or takes you to the next league, I should say. So what you're going to need to do is almost like a Rising Star, win a sequence of wins, and that will take you up. So we're going to get you up to rank 1, you get your first tick, you need another 2 in silver here to take you up to rank 50 in gold, and then you can go forward on from
And
there.
I mean, I really like this because one of the common things that people point out is the Rising Star makes it very quickly to rank up. It's like, sure, you can rocket to rank 1 if you want, but you are going to fight your way out of that league.
Exactly. Yeah, we're going to
intense.
give you the power, but you're going to have to earn it. So you're going to have to fight your way out, and these will scale as well. So bronze, for instance, might be just 2 wins to get out. Silver might be 3, and then it might be 4, 5 to get out of gold and earn your right to play in the Diamond League as well. So we've got some really cool stuff adding to this, and I think it's really exciting. The way we're presenting it, I think, is going to be really nice. Our animator Victor has been doing some animations for this. It looks gorgeous, and it's going to be a much better presentation for the end of the game. But in terms of rewarding feel, it's going to be really nice as well. So we're super excited for it too. So it's going to be really cool. But we'll talk more about the way the Diamond League works in the future, and we'll go into much more detail about how all of this stuff works in the blog post as well. But what we'll do now is just go and answer a few questions that have been coming up on the final slide here, which is I've called FAQ, but it's basically some small questions.
So I've actually got a few pretty good questions through here. Castle Tales says, quick question, when the ranking system will be implemented, do we all get demoted to bronze 50?
Yes. So when the new ranks go out, everyone starts at 50. So you'll all start at 50.
That's going to be an interesting few days.
So bronze 50, everyone starts from there. And at the start of every season, you'll start at bronze 50. So every season will start with a race.
I can just imagine a new player coming into the game and like, okay, first ranked game. Oh, I'm against a guy called Wolf. Oh, he's only bronze 50 as well. This is
yeah, it's how I judge all my games.
It's going to be an interesting few days, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a challenge to make sure we balance that correctly. So we're going to be taking the ELO system and making sure that that applies at that level, so that those new players coming into the game don't get match made against Wolf or Freeb and get smashed by their diamond cards. But that's going to be part of the challenge of this change. So we're looking forward to that.
Yep.
It's also what makes the card backs so useful, because then you can actually tell by, they were gold in the last season.
Because we're opening things up and giving you control about how you scale things, the most important thing is earning it. So just because you got to Diamond League doesn't mean that you should automatically get to gold next season. No. You got to earn your way there.
Absolutely,
Sorry, Freeb.
Sorry, Freeb,
yeah. Going to keep saying it.
Catoltail has another question, which is, how long will a season be?
In the moment, we're playing around with the idea of a month, but it's something we'll post on the forums, and we can talk with the community about and see what we feel is the best sort of time.
I mean, personal opinion, a month, it sounds right to me. So I imagine we'll aim somewhere around there? Probably.
Yeah, it might be 6 weeks, it might be a month dead on, we'll have to see. The one thing we need to do with this is that a lot of it's still in the conceptual stage, so we still need to do a lot of our maths with it to work out it's going to be balanced for everybody, but that's the sort of time frame to be looking at.
Definitely. So Jagarus says, is the card back your highest rank achieved or your rank at the end of the season? Like, if I get to gold, will I always have the gold card back, or do I only get it if I'm gold at the end of the season?
At the end.
Yes. So it's your finishing rank.
So yeah, one of the things I didn't talk about there is demotion. So that's one thing we're still playing around with, but we might get a little bit more aggressive with the demotion. So we could put you down a league more aggressively than we have done. So currently, in order to get demoted, you basically don't play, and that will put you down leagues. But we're thinking about being a little bit more aggressive with that because the rewards are so much more interesting. But yeah, it will be where you finish. So where the season ends will be when you get your card back.
Yeah, there's a reason you want it to feel valuable, don't you? Like,
Like you shouldn't get to diamond and sit there.
No, and you don't want everyone to be diamond. Like.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it should be a prestigious thing for those who actually really excelled.
Yeah.
So we have another question from Interjection, who says, will we keep the card backs forever?
Yes.
Yep, cool.
Yep. Once you've earned it, you got it forever. It'll go into your card backs list, and you got it forever.
Cool. RSN Freud says, when are quest changes coming? So not strictly related to this, but I guess it's another system overall.
So they're currently in QA.
Yeah, so I'm going through them at the moment, so depending on how well they go.
Right now?
Yeah.
I'm just going through them.
If Deadly doesn't like
this
it,
is my physical body,
we'd like them to go out next week.
Hopefully next week, but that's not a guarantee.
That's not guaranteed.
It depends on how well they go.
I've said this many times, and it's not happened for many weeks. So it is in QA, development is complete, we just want to make sure it's right before it goes out.
And Ryan Neal says, is the ETA on the rank changes soon TM?
Hashtag, no, I was going to say 2017.
Early 2017.
Yeah. No, so our goal is weeks. I don't want to give a firm time, but we have a very clear date in mind, and it is only a few weeks away. So we're going to be starting on that on Monday. So these changes start on Monday. The end of end game sequence stuff that you saw. So Ariane there with stuff overlaying over the top of her. That's already started. We've already done quite a lot of that, but that doesn't include the rank changes. So that will just be a change to the game flow and a presentation improvement. So that will come first, then the rank stuff will come after that. but it's not long. It's not 52 weeks, don't worry.
Glenn says, do we reset to bronze 50 every season?
Yes.
Yep. Draconork says, so there's a new card pack every season? Yep.
Yep.
Well, that shade of green is horrible to read. Alcabus, had to be careful with how I read that. Is there going to be a way to get a lower rank card pack? So I think he means, if you unlock all of them, can I choose to use the silver?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, this is something we might do retroactively, but when it goes out, it will probably just be the one that you get. But yeah, it's something we'll look into.
Because you said weeks, everybody's saying 52 weeks until the end.
I know, yeah. 1 year
Excellent.
confirmed.
Okay, so our last question from Freeb is, are you guys going to make it so that the extreme ranks don't have to face each other or wait 1 to 2 minutes more for other matches? So me and Wolf right now, we only get matched versus each other most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, that is always something to take into mind when you're playing at the top end. You're more likely
it's common across all games.
Exactly. So I think it's just a population issue at the moment, and as over the last few weeks we've had lots and lots of new players coming into the game, it's going to take them time to get up the ranks. You guys are way more experienced than anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to remember, we're having a huge influx of players, but these guys are where you were, like, at the beginning of November. Like, you know, they're not massively experienced. They're not going towards the higher end of MMR right now. So it will be better. Like, by the time this is implemented,
Absolutely.
It will be better. It will, like, it's going to change everything. The race to Diamond's going to be completely different.
Yep.
So it's going to be very, very interesting to see. Excellent. Cool.
Yep.
And so apparently there's one more. Yes, there is one more in there. Okay. Rebel Dragon, lol, says, any concerns over running out of ideas for unique card backs if the seasons are only a month? Nope.
No, not really. So basically, the card backs, we can do anything on them. They're a card back, as long as they fit into the style of the game appropriately. Like, I'm looking forward to the Scary Clown one we're doing next. No, I'm joking.
And the pink 2-2 one.
Yeah, the pink 2-2 one. There's literally, a card back is just a canvas, so we can do almost anything with it. So I'm not too worried. I think we've taken a lot more creative license than some other games have done. You've already seen that with some of the stuff that we're doing. So we're going to see lots and lots of cool variation there. And we've already got a whole bunch of cardbacks that are going to be added into the game in the next couple of weeks as well. I don't think we've even spoken about that yet, actually. So we've got a whole backlog of cool stuff that we want to add in there.
They are fantastic as well.
And remember, the interesting thing with these new ones is there's still only one card back. They just grow in detail. So when you complete that, they all just grow in detail. So it's only really 12 across a year, and then so on and so forth. So it won't be too onerous on us. We'll come up with some cool stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, and Silver AI card back confirmed.
On that